Hi, good morning. This is JP Thong. I'm now at Kechara Forest Retreat, Malaysia, and today is day 20 of mindful morning meditation. How is everyone doing this morning? And as usual, we will wait for a few seconds for everyone to tune in. So in the meantime, do get yourself comfortable and do a bit of stretching as we wait for everyone to tune in. Hi, morning, Christina. Wow, you're the first one there, I think. With Annette, hi. Morning, Zincoy, morning. Karine, good morning. Hope everyone had a good rest last night. Hi, morning, Halim. I was woken up by birds chirping away outside my window this morning, like way before my alarm clock sounded. So it was pretty nice. If you do have any questions, do ask me afterwards. Today, I will talk a little bit on taking ownership and how that would actually, when we take a mindset of taking ownership of things that we do around us and even with ourselves, you will get to see how beneficial that is. Yeah, so I'll talk about that after our single-pointed meditation. Hi, morning, King Hoy. Morning, Dr. Hank. Pastor Honey. Yeah, Halim, lucky me. It's the first time that I've been waken up by birds chirping away outside my room. Yeah, first time. I've been here for so long. It's the first time I noticed, yeah. Hi, evening, Natasha. Morning, Sharon. Hi, morning, Sharon Lee. Munting, good morning. Okay, just a few more seconds. Do get yourself comfortable. Do a bit of stretching before we start with the 9-round breathing meditation. Hi, Kirsten. Good morning. Wow, you're up early, Kirsten. Okay, that's good. Okay, and if everyone is ready, we shall start. Okay, let's sit at the edge of our cushion, rock forward and backwards to get our center. Okay, if you do feel again numbness around your limbs, just lean back a little bit so there's less pressure on your legs, and you can adjust it a little bit. All right, and here we go. Left palm up, thumb down, wrap your thumb, put your fist under your right armpit, right hand over your left nostril, breathe in slowly. And out. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. And out. Always take your time when you breathe in and out. Right palm out, thumb down, wrap your thumb, fist over underneath your armpit, left hand over your right nostril. Take your time, breathe in. Out. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. And out. Both palms on your thighs. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. Out. Breathe in. And out. Okay, and we're done. Morning, Lai Hing. Jacinta, morning. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, Rosie. No worries. It's okay. We just finished our 9-round breathing meditation, and we will proceed to our 15-minute single-pointed meditation. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, it's okay, Rosie, because the 9-round is to help you ground yourself. You can just, if you miss that, it's okay. You can just follow us with our single-pointed meditation. Okay, just take deep breaths now if you have not grounded yourself, and take your time to release the air as you exhale. Just take your time. Breathe naturally without forcing. You want tissue? Yeah. Okay, so we shall start with our 15 minutes. And again, find your center. Put your hands in position. Roll your shoulders. Relax. Tilt your head, your chin forward a little bit so that your back it's all the way straight. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Fill your body with the white healing light. Breathe out all the darkness, all the negativities. Visualize it as black smoke. Fill your entire body with the white healing light, which is love and compassion. Every single cell of your body is tingling in this healing light. All your worries are gone. No stress, no anxiety, only love and compassion. Focus on the nostril area. Focus on the sensation of the air going in and out of the nostril. Watch your thoughts, bring your attention back to your nostril. Watch your feelings arise and go. Focus on the nostril. Focus on the nostril. Watch your itch. Watch your pain. Focus on the nostril. Watch the sounds. And focus on your nostril. 3, 2, 1. And we're done. So how was that for everyone today? Hi, morning Peg. Morning David. Nancy, good morning. Melissa, hi, morning. Hi, Dr. May, Yen Pin, and Vivian. Thank you very much for tuning in. We just completed our 15-minute single-pointed meditation. And hi, Cassandra, morning. And yes, today was very fast, wasn't it? Yep, we are 15 minutes on the dot. See, so now that we're closer to the end of the week, starting on Monday, we will push ourselves to the next level and we will do 20 minutes. Yeah, so that's very good news. So we're all progressing together and it helps. Yeah. Frank says was distracted by thoughts, so time went fast. Again, bring the focus back to the breath. Bring the nostril area, yeah. And Colin says, my back nerve is still strained, but relief a bit. Okay. Try sitting up straight, like this, and then chin down. Yeah, Colin. Visualize a string pulling upwards like that, so that you have the correct posture, and then relax your shoulders and the rest of your body. And see whether or not that helps you. If not, perhaps do a little bit of stretching and warm up before you sit. Or if you can, try to sit on a chair. Perhaps that may help, yeah? What else? Let me see. Norman says, great flow of oxygen today. Okay. Great flow of oxygen. Norman, you feel the oxygen flowing in your body? Is that what you're trying to say? Able to focus on breathing better today, feeling good and energized. Yes, definitely. Today is very, very, very cooling here in Kechara Forest Retreat. So, yeah, it's very, very pleasant here today and not so humid, which is something that I prefer. Okay, yeah, great. Very nice. Time will be feel better, less numb on my limbs, but still a bit numbness on my nose. Managed to finish the 15 minutes. Interesting that you feel numb on your nose area. Okay. Now, Lai Hing says, if I want to meditate when I'm in bed, what is the best posture to do so, especially position of hands? Well, try not to meditate when you're laying down, Lai Hing, because as beginners, when we lay down, we will tend to fall asleep because that's when we're too relaxed. It's always best to sit up. And when we sit up, again, we don't lean against the headboard, because when you do that, then you're too relaxed. Again, for the untrained mind, you will tend to fall asleep. So I would not, unless you're trying to fall asleep, then yes. If you're trying to fall asleep, you can put your hands on your tummy here or on the side, whichever that you feel more relaxed, because we all have a different sleeping position. So it's up to you. And you can focus on either on your nostril area or here. Yeah, but again, I will not do that, Lai Hing. Not for now, because why? We're now conditioning the mind, or we're conditioning ourselves to focus. If we try to meditate to sleep, then our mind will associate meditation with sleep. And I'm just afraid that if you do that every day, every time you meditate, you will tend to fall asleep. So that is that risk there. Yeah, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. Whoops. Meditation had an itch so bad, Natasha says, but was able to apply the teaching and felt it go by faster. My knees and back were not as happy this time. Gratitude. Enjoyed the continued flowering of the Christmas tree cactus. Wow, that's very nice. The sunny side of the kitchen, and thankful for the completion of 2 work tasks. Wonderful. Waiting, feeling short today. Less thoughts, feel good and relax. Ben, I'm grateful with my own self, with whatever movement and thoughts passing my mind with no judgment and focusing back to my breathing. I feel good with this understanding about meditation. Yes, definitely. Whatever the emotions may be, whatever the thoughts may be, we will always focus back on the nostril area, and that is the key there. Hi Emily, good morning. Dr. Hank, as good as yesterday, however my brain keep thinking, have to force focus on breathing. Yes, definitely. I also noticed that because today I drank coffee for a change this morning instead of my usual tea. And I noticed that the caffeine was making my mind very active. So it was more of a challenge today for me to, again, focus on my breath because my mind kept going up and down, up and down. It was just, I think it was triggered by the caffeine. Yeah, that's what I noticed. So I think tomorrow I'll go back to drinking tea. Okay. So maybe if those of you who drank coffee this morning, maybe that actually contributes to the active mind as well. Yeah. I mean, try for yourself because all of our bodies react differently. So maybe you can try tea tomorrow and see what happens, or drink warm water in the morning and then see what happens. Okay. Corinne, great, and for a moment I thought I was in KFR surrounded by birds. Yes. Halim says, grateful to be able to embrace changes that life brings. That is very, very important, Halim. Change is the key here. Because as I said the other day, when we do not truly embrace change, whether it's external change or the body or the mind, if we do not embrace that, a lot of suffering will arise. A lot of suffering will arise. Tan Wubi asks, can we do this meditation stay in the car? I'm not the driver, of course. Yes, you can. Yes, don't meditate when you're driving. Yeah, and I'm grateful to wake up for meditation, or else might continue lying on bed as is Saturday. I'm grateful to continue exercise daily. Keep it up. Yes. Okay. I don't know whether or not you noticed, but I noticed, because another thing that I have incorporated into my routine is to do a bit of exercise in my room to keep myself and my mind active. And because during lockdown, I noticed that I tend to sit around a lot in my room doing my work. So I get very lethargic in the middle of the day, and I get very sleepy as a result. It's like my whole body just goes into a hibernation mode. So, and I noticed that, you see, because I'm always on the move usually before this lockdown. So I think my body is kind of associating sitting down for long hours as resting, and then kind of like getting myself, and I feel myself getting slower and slower and slower. So well, I need to exercise anyway. So I thought, I might as well incorporate my exercise regime into my daily routine. Yeah. So apart from work, I also take time out to do a little bit of exercise, and I noticed that because I have consistently been doing this single-pointed meditation every morning with all of you, I noticed that no matter how painful the exercise is, I will focus out on something and not focus on the pain in my muscle. And you know what? It helps tremendously. It helps. Yeah. So that's my latest experience right now, and it was almost effortless to just focus on something else other than the pain, as we do crunches and sit-ups and things like that. Yeah? Natasha says, is there a difference with meditating before or after a meal? Well, it depends on what you eat, yeah, Natasha. Well, it's best not to have a heavy breakfast before you meditate, because it will add on to the challenge. Because when all the blood goes to your tummy area, you will notice that you are more sleepy, perhaps. So I would not have a heavy breakfast, just a very light one, just a very light one, with maybe hot chocolate. Well, I'm going to go back to tea with milk, and just some light toast, cereal, something very light, so that you're just not bogged down with all the food in your tummy. Then after you meditate, then you can have perhaps a fuller breakfast. Yeah. So hope that helps. Waiting as grateful for having water and electricity supply. Grateful for able to make offering to Guru and Buddha. Yes, definitely. Definitely. When I was in Nepal working there with Kechara, electricity was such a challenge, because back then, 14 hours, there was no electricity for 14 hours every day, minimum 14 hours. So, and when we take things for granted in Malaysia, and even when I was in the States, that, we always take it for granted that there is electricity. So, yeah, so electricity is really, it's wonderful. Even clean water is wonderful, because again, in Nepal, water, there is clean water, but it's not treated. So we have to be very careful as well, because I got food poisoning there like almost every day, if not every other day back then. And it was like part of my daily routine to go to the bathroom at least 5 times a day. So can you imagine? So definitely, yes, I can definitely relate to that. Yeah, waiting. Hi Chong, thank you very much for tuning in. I will share with you what I wrote in my gratitude journal, and wait a minute. Then after that, I'll talk about taking ownership. Okay, so very quickly, I'm grateful to have video conference calls. That's very helpful, because work still continues, and I still continue to have my meetings with third-party vendors and conference calls. I think, I like it. I don't have to go to KL all the time to have my meetings. So that's great. 2, I'm grateful to have reading glasses. Yes, at my age, reading glasses are wonderful. And number 3, I'm grateful to have aromatherapy oils. That is also wonderful, as we get cooped up in our room. A bit of natural essential oils it's fantastic. Okay. And Christina shares, grateful during this lockdown being able to connect with a group of old friends from different countries at the same time on a video call. It was surreal. Thank you to this high-tech world we're living in. Yep, definitely. And you see, I was watching, before I talk about taking ownership, I was watching BBC this morning when I was having my breakfast, and it was reported that the hospitals noticed an increase in the emergency ward, not so much with coronavirus, but with people who suffer from abusive relationships, and there were increase of suicidal cases and heart attack and stress. So heart attack and stroke. So, and that is a current phenomenon, because people are not getting used to being locked down in confinement, and as a result, remember when I first started this entire series, I was saying how when we stop ourselves from our daily routine, both the body and mind will go into a reaction. Yeah. For those of you who go to the gym or do some sort of workout, the trainer always says, there's muscle memory. Same thing, because the muscles are used to a certain movement, and you create that muscle memory. So same thing, you have the memory in your mind, and also memory in every part of your muscle, and you're used to that all the time. So when the change is almost immediate, where you do not allow yourself to go out, and you don't even realize that you're so used to that kind of lifestyle, then your body and mind will go into a reaction. And if we don't train our mind, that's what happens. Because remember when lockdown was first started, how for the first few days we were so disoriented, we couldn't sit still, we just felt very bored, and we don't know how we're going to do this. So a lot of doubts arise, and a lot of restlessness. Some of you even have some anxiety attacks, and so on and so forth, and you become very emotional. See, that is a withdrawal syndrome. It's a withdrawal. So again, it's very, very important. My point is, it is very important now that we have this lockdown, and and rest assured, after this lockdown, how we live our lives will be very, very different. As what happened during SARS time, people in Hong Kong and China, because they went through the SARS period, and they tell me that there are certain hygiene practices that they do every winter because that's flu season. So they have no choice but to embrace that kind of change in their lifestyle. So I think for the rest of us who are now, for the rest of the world right now, who have not experienced SARS, and I think we need to change our lifestyle as well. And what more, to work on our mind using the single-pointed meditation so that we can truly embrace change. Because why? Now we have learned to take a step back, and whatever emotions arise, we have learned to watch it and then focus back on the intention of the day. If you still have not come up with your daily intentions, please do so. It is extremely important to do that. Extremely important. It will give us a clear direction of where we want to go ahead. So, and again, you have your daily intention, but before you have your daily intention, have a long-term intention. It can be for the next 5 years, 10 years, or even for the next year. But at least have that macro, that long-term intention, so that your daily intentions make sense for you. Yeah? So that's what I wanted to say before I talk about taking ownership, and how important it is to realize that our mind and our body are just so habituated that most of the times we get out of control, and we're so driven with our emotions that we become very fixated, and as a result we suffer. The ultimate suffering is the mental suffering. It's very subtle at times, but the suffering is there. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, so we will talk about ownership. Okay, I will continue reading the gratitude sharing after I talk about ownership. So what is taking ownership? Now, taking ownership, it's about owning every choice we make in life. Owning every decisions we make in life. And when things don't work out, we do not automatically say, oh, it's the blame game. Oh, it's this person's fault, it's the environment, this, that. Although, yes, it may be true that sometimes, yes, people get in the way, situations get in the way, even you yourself get in the way of you wanting to achieve that task at hand. But the key is this: when the results do not match our intended goal, instead of automatically pointing fingers at others, not necessarily people, but at situations, and so on and so forth, we take ownership. We say, okay, fine. So this didn't work. There were these components that actually made it more challenging. Now, again, focus on more positive aspects of how to make it work eventually. You see, when we train our mind to take that kind of ownership, that level of ownership, you will realize and you will notice that you will get to fulfilling your intentions much, much, much faster. Much faster. Because why? It's nobody's fault. Every choice is my choice. Even some people say, oh, but the person forced me to. What? Are you saying there was a gun next to your head? You see, when somebody is more vocal than us and kind of forces us to do something, at the end of the day, if you think deeper, it is still our choice. It was our choice to give in for whatever good reasons. It's always our choice. Our choice. So unless a gun was pointed on our head, unless the person would get physically abusive, it is always our choice. It is always our choice. Regardless. Okay, but of course, if you're in an abusive, if you're in a physically abusive or mentally or emotionally abusive situation, like I said before, always get out. Always get out. Have compassion for yourself to get out. Realize that you cannot handle such situations. You do need professionals to come and handle such situations. You do need. So have compassion on yourself. Yeah? So again, take ownership. No matter what, you take ownership. You made the decision to put yourself in that situation, to be told what to do. So the decision was, you chose that situation. You chose to be in that situation to be told what to do. So again, it goes back to you. It goes back to your choice. So take ownership of that. You know how when we're young, we always say, it was not my fault. So-and-so told me to do so, blah, 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 and all that. My boss told me to do so. My senior told me to do so. My friend told me to do so. See? Oh, I'm late. Oh, I'm sorry because, traffic. Don't blame me. It was the traffic. Blame the traffic. So again, simple things like that. We're so readily to blame situations. Of course, once in a while, yes, there are unforeseen circumstances. That's fine. But if you notice that we're always blaming on something else, take ownership. No right, no wrong. Just notice that if we take full ownership of our decisions that we make on a daily life, you will notice that you become more constructive, you become more productive, and you can actually gain people's trust along the way. Because why? Because you will have built an energy around you that, you know what, even if the choice that was made was not as favorable, the outcome of the choice that you make isn't as favorable as you would have liked it to be, you will still do something about it to your best effort, to your best. And you build this kind of energy that people can trust you. And people usually gravitate around you because why? You are very trustworthy. You are dependable. You're dependable. Not that you intentionally want that, but you will build that kind of energy whereby every time when you open your mouth and when you talk, people listen. Because that is that reputation that you have built for yourself. It's a byproduct. So that is why when we want to get things done in life, there's so much one person can do. We need to realize that. But as a group, we become more effective. As a group, we may have a thought, but sometimes it takes other people to execute. So again, there are many, many benefits when we take ownership of ourselves and the choices that we make. It will become more productive, and some of the benefits are, as I said, you will have more ownership. Imagine yourself as a ship, and you are the captain behind that oar, and whatever storms may lay ahead, you are going to make sure that you drive that ship towards that destination. No and, no ifs, no buts. And as a result, all the insecurities that we've been feeling all this while, where we beat up ourselves, I'm not good enough, I'm not intelligent enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not muscular enough, I'm not skinny enough. whatever it is that we're not enough, that will slowly melt away. Because why? Because now your focus is not on that. See, all that is just what you are telling yourself. It's not real. It's not real. Even if that's how people look at you, that's their perception, but it's not real. Like I said, every one of us is unique. There's a beauty in all of us. It's just that we choose not to acknowledge it. So, when we take ownership of our life and our decisions, guess what happens? Things happen for us. We achieve whatever task that we lay out. And after a while, when you look back, you go, oh, wait a minute. I'm not as bad, I'm not as inadequate as what I think. Look at all my achievements. So, what's the byproduct? Your insecurity, the feeling of insecurity diminishes over time. So that's another benefit when we take ownership. Does that make sense? Are there any questions before I continue? Let me see. Sharon says, grateful for learning a new skill, meditation, and making it a part of my morning routine. Grateful to be able to make daily food offerings to my guru and protector. Grateful for cleaning uninterrupted water supply. Thank you, Sharon, for sharing that. But I noticed that you've been grateful on similar things, and in some same, you repeated that. Try to focus on other things that you're grateful for, so that you push your mind to look at other aspects of your life that you have forgotten to appreciate. Yeah, so it helps that you do not repeat in your gratitude journal what you were grateful for before. Okay, hope that helps. Grateful for wonderful friends, ability to have sound sleep every night, and technology. Yes, Lai Hing, you've said that too. So again, do not repeat what you're grateful for. Always look for new things to be grateful for. Yeah, and at times it may be a struggle, because why? Because we don't look around, and then we go, oh yeah, and then oh yeah. Yeah, so again, I'm getting everyone to train your mind to look around, like really look around things. Even your chair that you sit on every day, even your dining table, your rug, every single thing around you that you kind of don't notice because it's there all the time. But once I take that away from you, you go, oh, wait a minute, something's missing. So aren't you grateful for that? Norman says, grateful for these morning sessions. Grateful that I can share this with others. And grateful to learn new things every day. Definitely. Hi, CK. Good morning. Yeah, so, and do I have any questions with regards to taking ownership? You see, taking ownership may sound it is a very common topic, but it is very thought-provoking and very profound. Because a lot of times we think that we are taking ownership, but when we look, now that we have the tool to actually take a step back and watch ourselves, there's a lot more that we can do to take ownership. Yeah, so always watch ourselves and always catch ourselves every time when we are so ready to point fingers at situations, at people, and so on and so forth. Yeah, again, yes, they may be true. They may be true, but it will be even more constructive if we go, okay, let's see how to resolve it. Let's see how to resolve it. Let's see how to still get that result. Yes, more effort need to be put because certain things arise to challenge us, to delay us as a result. So let's step it up and circumvent it, handle it, and still get the result. That will be more effective. That will be more effective than focusing on the situation at hand, that is delaying the work or creating a compromise on the quality of work that is at hand. So instead of focusing on that, thank you very much. Let's make it happen. Do you notice now how meditation is so powerful? Meditation enables us to control the mind. And now that we have a much better control of the mind, we can actually mentally take a step back. And before we allow ourselves, our automatic self, to latch on to situations, and then we get emotionally driven and get stressed and like all flustered, which we always do. You actually now you have the skill to take a step back and go, watch it, go back to our intention. Watch it, go back to our intention. Once your mind is calm, then you revisit it without attaching your emotions to that situation. No matter how disastrous you think it is. You see, even the word disaster is a label that our mind puts onto the situation. Oh, it's disastrous. So if we remove the label, it's just a situation arose. So very factually, a situation arose and it created this obstacle, this obstacle, this obstacle, this obstacle, this obstacle. Now, again, let's see how to overcome it, how to handle the situation without any emotions. You're not indifferent, you're not numb. It's just that you have realized that no matter what arises, where we will be able to look at things with more clarity and make better decisions now that we have learned to take a step back and just watch it like you're watching a movie. Yes, I know some of you get emotionally dramatic when you watch movies as well. I will talk about the psychology behind that in one of my sessions. Yeah? Well, I better write this down afterwards. Why is it that you always cry when you watch movies? You're so easily emotional. There's a deeper psychology behind that. Okay? So I'll talk about that later. And then you understand your mind even better. Much, much better. So, sorry. So having said that, yes. So because now that you have the skill to take a step back, then much clearer. Much clearer. And a lot of times, again, like I said, when we attach the emotions, when our decisions are driven by emotions, whether we're emotions of stress, anxiety, fear, all these negative emotions, or it can be positive emotions too. Oh, I'm very excited. Oh, let's do this. And you may just jump, into making decisions that you go, oh, wait a minute, that was silly. Why didn't I take a step back and take a good look? So either way may not serve. Either way. The best is the middle way, which is the calm, abiding way, which is let's watch it and assess it very, very objectively. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. Do we have any questions? Harlem says, be self-aware and you gain ownership of reality. Definitely. It's all about awareness. Easier said than done. That is why controlling the mind is so important. Once we learn to control the mind and we're very, very good at it, you see, now we're at the end of our 15-minute meditation. So next week, when we push it to 20 minutes, you will notice that you will actually, as compared to when we first started 3 weeks ago, we've come a long way. And as we get better with controlling that, you will also notice that your awareness level increases as a result. Because your mind is calm. There's this analogy that I like to use. Imagine you have 2 glasses of water with mud underneath it. Okay, when you look at it, one, I stir it up, and one, mud, you will see mud at the bottom and water on top. The one that is stirred are all your emotions all stirred up, and all your distractions from your attachments. Oh, I want to do this, I feel like doing this, I feel like doing that. Oh, I'm in the mood for this, oh, I'm in the mood for that. Oh, I don't want this, I want that. And all that distraction. This cloudy, muddy water that's all stirred up represents your mind. This glass of water, it's clear on top, but the mud is at the bottom. That's your mind when you calm it down. So when you want to make a decision by looking through the glass, which one do you think you'll be able to make better decisions? Which one do you think will allow you to perceive what's at hand much better? Which one? Of course, the glass where the water is clear and the mud is at the bottom. That's your mind. And when we meditate, that's what we're trying to get at. If you don't, and you're always distracted, I want to do this, I want to do that, this, that. It's about me and what I want to do without a clear intention, things will get stirred up. You see, this glass of water can still do the same things, do all of that and still have a calm, abiding mind. Because why? It's just like, like you're in a lake, and when the wind blows and there's a ripple on the surface of the lake, you see that ripple, and those are all your tasks at hand. But at the bottom of the lake, it is very, very still. It's a type of mind that we wish to achieve, that is a state of mind we wish to have. So all the busyness is on the surface, but inside you is still very, very calm. So with that analogy, you can see which one is more effective. So again, it shows you the importance of focusing. Just focusing, learning to focus, how important it is. And can you imagine if more people did this around the world, then people will actually have less stress. Because why? They're in much better control of their mind. And all this anxiety and depression and all that will not arise as a result. Will not arise. So I sincerely hope that during this lockdown, people actually have this awakening to realize the importance of calming the mind and focusing. Because I feel that there may be more. Definitely 2020 is a year whereby there's an entire shift, in the way we live, our lifestyle and all that. So it's time to wake up and do something that is more beneficial for us in the long run, regardless of all the issues that we have at hand. Okay, and that's the good news. Excuse me. Okay, I think we have run out of time. So very quickly before I wrap it up, I'll just read this last comment by Zinkoi. I would advise everybody to go to Nepal or any other third or lower world countries at least once in a lifetime. Excuse me. You will love your country once you back home, because this is exactly how I felt when the plane door opened at 6 a.m. in March 2008. After coming home from Nepal, I actually suffered the same fate as JP. I was having food poisoning for almost 10 days and depends slowly on glucose to survive, but I still managed to finish the 10 days. Pilgrimage. I think you're starting to say pilgrimage? I just can't imagine where the willpower came from during that time. It was not really me. The temperature at night was 5 Celsius and no electricity, 8 hours of electricity daily and 33 Celsius in the daytime. Yes. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Excuse me. And again, If there are any topics that you would like me to go through, do write to me so that I can cover that. If not, I will go through the list of topics that I think that you may like me to talk about. And if there's any other topics that you want me to repeat and even go deeper, do let me know again. All right. So take care, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8:30 Malaysian time. Have a great day.